Here at Veteran Trash Talk, we actually vet our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a Butterbar lieutenant lost on the land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran and their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Listen, it's impossible to fight, okay, if you don't know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in the dumps and you're struggling with mental health, things of that nature, it's going to continue tearing you down, all right? Because you're consistently trying to fight something, which is that demon, which is usually something from the past, right? Maybe that why needs to be fighting for your future. Let that be your why. Get the hell up and start fighting for your future. Stop fighting things that happened in the past. Easier said than done, right? Go seek help. It's okay not to be okay. A lot of people need to hear this. You are more of a warrior and a fighter if you stand up and say, hey, this has to stop. I need to go seek help. The stigma, everything has changed. It's okay not to be okay.
And so my honesty cap is dedicated to a little, we'll call it a public service announcement for civilians and other people in the military. There are a few people that you should always take their stories with a grain of salt. Vegans, CrossFitters, and special operations guys that tell you that they were special operations without being prompted. The first thing they say is, yeah, I used to be soft. Right. The only unicorn in that entire group is like a special operations guy that was like a vegan and did CrossFit. That guy's probably going to stay quiet for a little bit longer because he's confused as what he should talk about first. That's the only reason. Right. Anybody that says that they were soft without being prompted or without it being like a normal part of your communications is probably either an enabler or going to tell you a bunch of stuff that's not exactly true.
What's up, Trash Talkers? What's up, Gruntworks Nation? Big Earl. You heard Dave talk. You heard Buddy talk. Now, Buddy's all about, he is a Green Beret and he's Special Forces and yada, yada, yada. But he will not tell you that unless, he really, really likes you and he's made dinner for you. However, what Veteran Trash Talk does is we bring a lot of light to the veteran community, the first responder community. We promote that what we're doing well, all right, whether we're running for office, we started a business, nonprofit, all those things. Veteran Trash Talk is a super clean page. We got Gruntworks if you want to go there and raise a little hell a little bit, but we are here to promote veteran-owned businesses. So the show you are about to watch is a veteran or veterans or a spouse of a veteran or a child of a veteran that's doing great things in the community, and we need your help promoting them and getting them all the success that they need. All right, guys, enjoy the show.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
It's you, buddy. You froze. I know what he's doing.
Just popped up. What's up, guys?
He read the script.
Oh, yeah, I definitely read the script. Hey, welcome to Veteran Trash Talk Hour, Season 4, Episode 3. Today, we're Jesus Christ. You know what? I didn't practice. I didn't practice at all. I've been so busy with all of the other things that are going on that I didn't even a little bit practice. So you'll have to forgive me. That
you're forgiven.
Dave is usually here, but in fact, he's out today because he actually had business to take care of. That being said, he's probably also busy reading the Epstein files, word for word, every file, and thumb marking anything that says anything about Donald Trump or the Republican Party, because he's
it's 3.5 million pages, so he's got to get started.
I don't think he's going to be on the show for the next month, 2 months, something like that. It is crazy to me that he's already started texting screenshots within 2 days, as if he found the secret document that nobody read. The one page in his search, which is just a keyword search, and he found it. Nobody else thought of that keyword. Nobody would have thought to search Donald J in the Epstein file ever. It would have been the farthest from anybody's mind. But anyway,
this is a great intro to introduce Michael too, because hey, welcome to the dumpster fire. He's like, what did I rush for my vacation to talk about here? But actual Dave is, and our thoughts and prayers are with him and his wife, his family. They are at a funeral for a family member, so that is why they couldn't make it. And that he is the face man that is Veteran Trash Talk. His only job is to say hi and introduce everybody. And we tried to let Buddy do it, and look at him. You got to practice these things.
Rehearsals are actually part of the process. But anyway, we're going to welcome Michael Segal, former F-15 pilot. So that means that really it doesn't matter what you say for the rest of the show. You can just tell pilot stories, and we'll sit around like cross-legged listening to you and be like, oh, man, that was sick. Every time we saw an airplane, it was way higher, and we were pretty sure they had a cup of hot coffee and were just like flying around saying bogey all the time and then banking left. I don't know why you always bank left, but in my imagination, that's what you do. But he also is
we can ask him that.
We will be asking about banking left.
Is it like Zoolander where you can't turn right?
Can't turn right. I only have one look.
And he's doing it right now. You actually got the Ben Stiller look. It's blue steel. I think that's what it was. Awesome. Yeah, you actually took the way I was going to intro him when it was time to talk about BizVets. LA was, we all think that we're cool. Like Buddy had to try every aspect of the Army to find out if he was cool or not. And he finally goes to Green Beret, like, I gotta be cool. And then you are cool. You have this Green Beret, you got a beard, like you're able to do all this cool stuff, and then an F-15 flies over. And you're just not cool.
It doesn't even have to be an F-15. At one point, we were on a base that had a bunch of A-10s on it, and A-10 pilots, no offense, A-10 pilots are cool as shit. They're just like the grunt of the pilot community. So they're all just like, what's up, brother? With their like mustaches, and they all look like Wild Bill. We'll sit. And we were like, yeah, these guys are, can we hang out with you guys? Like you guys are awesome. Yeah.
They're definitely the fun ones of the fighter community.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we have a connection. So you know Chris Wee.
I do know blues.
That is awesome. So, buddy, you don't know this, but when I was a ranger instructor down in Florida, he was at a squadron at Eglin, and our kids went to grade school together, and our wives made friends. And so it was pretty cool. I'm like, I mean, how many F-15 pilots are there? They gotta know each other. I'm taking my shot. So,
Yeah, I mean, we all look the same and we all know each other. But in all fairness, he is an incredible human being, and the fact that you know him, like, he's a good guy to know.
Yeah, their whole family's been awesome. So we missed them, and if we had been in the Air Force and pilots as well, but I wasn't just an Army guy, there would definitely have been an arranged marriage at some point with our kids. Like that's just we're getting with them. But we got a lot of people chiming in saying hi. I think they're expecting some fireworks for everything that's been going on. And again, when we schedule our guests, we are a pretty popular podcast, right? I think we're like in the top 15 of veteran podcasts. And like, so it takes, I book out months in advance. So we don't know what's going to happen like the week prior to our guests coming on. But they usually know it's a pretty good time. So I don't know how much of the current events Buddy wants to get into. Or what we're willing to talk about. I'm not sure, but that's a dumpster fire. I'm ready to talk about anything.
I mean, I think the biggest thing that we can talk about in the current events is that everybody on both sides needs to figure out what neutrality means and just shut up until you have the information to make an educated, like informed, statement and not just run on like I saw it on TikTok. I gotta talk about it. You don't have to. You don't have to say that you know it. You don't have to be the one who says, "Well, I told you so." Like you can just be the guy that's like, "Yeah, I just waited and try to figure out what was actually happening, and then I made a decision like a normal adult human person would." It's crazy. People are insane. It's the weather, hot and cold, hot and cold.
It is the weather. It is
I'm
the
telling you
weather.
what,
Like, yeah.
I do give it to the protesters and the ice agents in Minnesota at negative. Like, if it says negative before the number on the temperature, nah, son, I'm not gonna be out there. Not doing it. No. You'd have to be doing some real crazy. Like George Washington would have to tell me that we were going over a frozen river to kill some British people before I'd be like, okay, I'm down. But no,
I don't think he killed British people though when he did that.
I think it was.
Didn't he kill Prussians? I think it was
Prussians. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah. But,
same Europeans.
Yeah, for sure. But I do. Yeah. I mean, that's a good segue into the Book of Earl. And again, the Book of Earl is pretty much scripture. If you follow it and you live it, all right, things will get better for you. All right. And they're my own mistakes, right? We have our number one selling shirt, which is quit being a triggered pansy. And that right there, like, and that's where when you get triggered and you become a pansy, right, you ruin it for everybody. Okay. You ruin it for yourself and for everybody around you. And now nobody's happy. All right. Nobody's getting anything done. All production stops. All right. So it's okay to get upset. You should get upset about certain things. But once you start making it everybody else's problem, now, we already got one scanned. All right. Yeah. Go grab one. I'm telling you, if you travel with that shirt in the airport, all right, you are going to make friends. All right. You're going to have lots of conversations and people are going to ask you what it means. And when somebody asks me what it means when I'm in the airport, I say, you see that nice young lady working behind the desk over there? And I go, when the plane gets delayed, right, it's not her fault. She has no idea why. And she's not a mechanic and you're not a mechanic either. Like, and you're not a pilot. So, well, maybe Michael would get mad, but like, you don't yell at her. Okay. She doesn't know. All right. So just take a breath and we'll all go stand in line and be angry together. But anyways, today's Book of Earl comes from chapter 7. All right. Verse 4. And thou must never rely on luck. All right. For it doesn't exist. All right. Luck was created by the devil. All right. For laziness.
All right. Lazy people rely on luck, and gamblers rely on luck. All right. However, it doesn't exist anyways. So they're not really relying on anything. For a gambler to win, what does he have to do, buddy?
I mean, a lot of gamblers don't gamble on or don't use luck. They count cards and stack the odds in their favor. But
probability.
Yeah.
Right. And then if they're on the lower end of the probability scale, they still have to play. You can't win if you don't play. All right. So this is my point in life. And I've done the Book of Earl on, everybody sees the end state of somebody's hard work and they want the end state of that hard work. And then they judge you how you're living now, but they don't realize how you got to where you were, right? They don't understand the sacrifices you made, the hours you spent, all that hard work. All right. So let's talk about the increasing the probability for yourself. And when the moment comes where you can strike, right? If you have done the work, you have increased the probability of you becoming very successful, right? If you haven't done the work, your probability of being successful in what you want to be successful at is pretty small. All right, pretty small. So somebody be like, oh, he's just lucky. All right. No, he probably went to the right school, probably studied the right things. Maybe he went to go do this and go do that while you were doing this and that. All right, I just want you to think about that. And then on the social side of things, take this how you will. You increase the probability of very, very bad things happening to you by what you do. All right, and everybody knows that. Okay, there are certain things that we don't do, and there are certain things that we can do where we know that we're probably not going to get messed with today. All right, like I used to bounce. And we had a guy that came in one day, and you could tell he was having a rough day. All right, and he had cauliflower ear, right, and he had some veins coming out of his forearms, and like out of his biceps. He was doing a few shots, but he was just sitting there quiet, right? And somebody kept bumping into him, right? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get over there because this guy. I'm like, hey man, you all right? He's like, yeah man, I'm good, thanks. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, what? This guy he's sitting here like too far. I'm like, hey, dude, hey, like, this is when you shut up, all right? I'm trying to save this guy. Like, this is when you be quiet, right? Or I'm gonna like no. And then kept running his mouth, and I let the guy 1-2 him, and he was down. I'm like, laws of probability. You see somebody with cauliflower ear and veins popping out of their arms, probably not the guy to start shit with. Just saying. All right. But yeah, that's the Book of Earl. Luck does not exist. You increase and decrease the probability of your success by what you do. All right. So anybody got a take on that? That's just kind of what I've been upset about. People keep saying that bad things shouldn't happen. Well, they do. Good things happen too. Just saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. And even in the current events category, if you could follow a flow chart pretty easily. Like there are certain things that should I go to a protest? Yes. Okay, cool. Should I take my gun to a protest maybe, okay. Should I, at the protest while having a gun on me, should I actively fight federal agents? That's probably a no, and then goes back to like, should I take a gun to the protest? And if that's your plan, then no, don't take the gun to the protest. And if you do have to take the gun to the protest, maybe don't go to the protest. Not saying that like nobody deserves to get killed. Like very rarely is there somebody that deserves to die. That being said, you can increase the probability that something bad is going to happen by not planning ahead, really. Like if you go to the woods and you attach a stake to your neck and you run into like a bear, they're probably going to attack you more than if you didn't have a stake attached to your neck. I'm just saying it's just reality. I don't know. It seems like people don't really understand that there are consequences for your decisions, and some of them can be fatal. Doesn't make it right.
And,
It's it the reality.
I mean, Michael was just in Big Bear. Did you, when you were skiing, because there's like mountain lions up there, there's like cougars, right? There's like bears. They call it Big Bear for a reason, I'd assume. Did you ski with sausage links hanging out of your shorts?
I did. Yeah. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's because he's a pilot.
He's the lucky one.
I don't know if that's frowned upon around here, but it seemed to work okay for me.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about my book of Earl because the first time I met Michael was on a rooftop, and it was, I had never been to something like that. You know, I've been living the Army life, and I grew up in Wisconsin. I think the tallest building has like 12 stories. I think it's the U.S. Bank building. It's pretty legit. And, you know, I'm downtown LA, and we're at the Jonathan Club, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's not quite the standard that we were in Nashville, but it's, you know, it's pretty legit. So I get up,
a whole different type of situation in Nashville.
Yeah. So I get up there, and I'm already in awe, like seeing all the lights, the buildings. And then, you know, I'm still trying to navigate what exactly I'm doing here. I got invited by an old infantry buddy of mine who works for an accounting firm downtown. And that's another great story. We've had him on before, where he came from a little bit of rough growing up to now he's just killing it and doing awesome things downtown LA. And I run it. Hey, I got to introduce you to these guys. And I walk over and I see Michael, and I see a couple of guys, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. I'm like, oh, BizVets LA. And I'm like, what do you guys do? And he's like, we like to make people rich. And I was like, that is okay. Yeah, I gotta find out a little bit more about this. And of course, there's much more to it, which he's going to get to explain and talk about what they're doing. But as we talked about earlier in the show, F-15 pilot. Again, no matter what you think you're cool. Like when I got my Ranger tab, like I'm cool. You know, like yeah, buddy gets his green beret, he's cool, and then you just got cool, right? Like anytime, no matter where you are, these things fly out of the sky. Is there anybody who's not an alien that doesn't do this? Right? Like you just.
Well, even when you hear, like when you listen to, they get their like in their cockpit recorders and shit, and they're like flying around. They're like like the coolest humans on the planet when they're doing something ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like there's like 200 insurgents, and like, yeah, Roger, check that bingo on the 9 o'clock, gonna drop a bomb. Yeah, bomb's away. Boom. And there's like, Roger, target's cleared, flying off. Everybody else that's around is like, fuck, what just happened? Jesus, get him. And then they're
come back.
Here they got, I'm gonna go back to base, got steaks on the grill. Have to make that a thing. We're out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I never had F-15s when I was ever in trouble. Had some A-10s, and we had some F-18s and some F-16s in Iraq once. But you know, I remember the show of force that an F-18 did, because we were in a pretty we were in a near ambush, and we were in bad shape, and like in an urban environment, and we really couldn't move, and then the pilots really couldn't engage either because it's an urban environment near ambush, and I didn't have the fires net or the JTAC net up on my headset, so I don't know it's even coming, right? And all of a sudden you just hear, get down, and it just whoa, and there's this big shockwave over the thing, and yeah, the firefight was over, you know, and they didn't have to drop anything. So that was I could have swore I saw the F-18 pilot's face. Like that's how close he came down. I'm like, that was wild. But anyways, you don't have a lot to live up to for that introduction. You just probably, again, you're one of the coolest guests we had. We normally talk conspiracies to start the show, but they're usually about aliens. And every time we talk about aliens, the pilots, like after the show, going, hey, don't share anything I said about the pilot, about the aliens. And I'm like, well, it's already live. It was live. Can't take it back. All right. So, but we won't put you on the spot. We've learned our lesson with pilots. But anyways, hey, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour and the Dumpster Fire. Please introduce yourself. Talk about what got you into BizVets LA, what you're doing now, what they're all about, and how can people help and or join.
Yeah, well, first of all, gentlemen, thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit broadly across this. And thanks for what you guys do to bring awareness to various veterans issues. It doesn't go unnoticed. My background, dude, I wish my family opinion of me that you do. If you said all those nice things about me in front of my wife, I might actually pay you money to do that. So we can have a conversation after the show about what that could look like. Long story short, on me, yeah, lots. Getting people rich, right? That's how we do it. Born and raised in LA, watched Top Gun one too many times as a kid, and then, yep, that's what I want to do. So tried to figure out the best way to go do it, and it turned out going to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs was track number one for that life choice. Did that, went to the Air Force Academy, went on to go fly F-15Cs first and then F-15Es on active duty. I guess my parents didn't love me enough, because after that I decided to do a career 180 and go to law school. So went to law school here in UCLA, stayed on the reserve track until 2024, when I retired. But after law school, went into one of these big law firms here in Century City and started off. Throughout all of this, I'm living in LA and trying to figure out, okay, I've done some cool stuff on active duty, but now I've got to afford Los Angeles. LA is not cheap, right? Average price for a house is $1 million. Okay. So unless in your 20s you were learning how to do Excel spreadsheets or, respond to discovery requests in litigation, and not learning how to put warheads on foreheads, you're a step behind the power curve if you want to live in LA. And I'm looking for veterans organizations around LA with which to effectuate, that kind of wealth acquisition at a more rapid rate, and it just didn't exist. So after law school, after working in big law for a little while, I decided to kind of go off on my own and do some of my own things. Went to a couple smaller firms to learn the business of law, and then started my own law firm about 2 years ago. On top of that, started BizVets LA in response to a lack of networking and for veterans in Los Angeles. And so we've been around since 2024. So we're pretty new to the scene, and it's a member-based organization. So you have to pay membership dues. I don't take a salary out of it. None of the staff do. It all goes to the events that we host. But the idea is to get veterans who have had success, financially or politically, what have you, mingling with each other, networking, leveraging each other's strengths, as well as resources, in order to essentially do what our motto says, which is get stronger, faster together. We could hunker down and try and do our own thing once we hit the commercial sector and see how that works out for us. But our proposition is that when we get together, one, we're stronger politically to some extent, right? And also from a resource perspective, people who are venture capital, investment banking, attorney, the whole gamut, that if you are a business owner or if you're a professional looking to climb through the ranks, we're generating the resources to assist with that. And I don't know how else you live in LA unless you make a lot of money relatively quickly.
Yeah. I'm glad you put that for the people watching. I've kind of experienced this, and when I was talking to some of the other gentlemen there from BizVets, and I won't say them by name because they're not here, and they, he brought up something about what some qualified veterans struggle with is ageism. And I didn't really think about that, to where you're trying to, now you're very skilled. You have the qualifications, you have the education. You're trying to get in a job, but you're 45 years old. Right? Is that something that you guys have dealt with? And that, like, how does that work as well? Is like how do we beat that?
I don't know that you beat it necessarily. I think part of beating it is by, again, organizing, and you can provide a bigger impact on your community when you come through a message with 1,000 veterans versus one veteran. I think to some extent you look for organizations that appreciate the more experienced perspective that a veteran might bring. On top of that, I think is, if I'm hiring, because I am hiring right now, I'm actually looking for someone who can manage everything in life beyond just being good at their job, right? Like, there are 25-year-olds who will grind it out for you and just work until 2 a.m, and that's great for them. But what I've found, seeing how some of these large corporations and large law firms work, is that can be unsustainable, right? I mean, we all talk about burnout. We all talk about, having a balance. And there are real world effects of that. And, the divorce rate in some of these big corporations is pretty high. And, I think there is value for those who want to hire someone who, I don't want to say has their life together necessarily, doesn't just want to work all the time, all day, super hard. I'm not against hard work. Hard work is good. When you're at work, you work hard. But there are other things to do. As far as, your question was ageism specifically, I don't think you get a win around that, right? Like, some of these law firms, they're just going to be looking for that 25-year-old fresh out of law school that can grind it out. And that's the job at that point. If they're smart enough to take a longer view on, what someone can bring to their organization, then maybe they get a W. If that's not what they're looking for, I don't know that there's a way around it. I mean, there are laws against it. Yeah, sure. But people,
Yeah, well,
Right.
It sounds like, what I got out of what you're saying is that you can leverage, or you can look at your toolbox and see all the tools that you don't have to do the job. But what we do have, especially if you've been in the military for a while, you have a network that, people that got out before you got out, people that you worked with. You can look and see, well, you're never going to be 25 again, but you can leverage the tools that you do have to do the job you want to do, or to advertise the positives rather than the negatives of what you've got. So, is that what kind of BizVets does? Is more the networking side of, like, building a network of successful people that all have being veterans in common to do what you're doing.
That's it, man. Like, that's it. That's exactly it. Because let's be frank, right? When you're looking to do business with somebody, did I lose you guys?
You froze a little bit.
Just for a second. You said when you're looking to do business with somebody.
We needed the bomb here, not there. No, yeah. Yeah, he is up in the mountains.
Yeah, I can hear you again. I don't know. Like I said, I am up in Big Bear. Yeah. So I don't know what the internet situation is here. I'll do the best I can.
That's fine. If it has
the point
to cut,
being
it
is
cuts,
that, like, if you're going to do business with, if you're going to do business,
The government
veterans
doesn't
inherently
want the people
trust
to
other
know.
veterans faster than they would non-veterans. So, that part of that network that we're building. On top of that, veterans understand the issues that a veteran might face transitioning from the military to the commercial sector, so they can kind of walk them through some of the paces. So we have people who've done that. Like, they're in commercial banks, they're in investment banks, they're in, private equity, they're in major law firms. They can help you understand what the factors might be in the civilian sector. And it's specific to LA. We're not in DC, we're not in Chicago. It's very LA specific because LA is its market, right? There's a lot going on here. There's the film industry, Hollywood, all that. But there's a lot of other industries here. There's aerospace and defense, which veterans are just blowing up right now. I mean, there's a huge market for veteran talent in that sector. So, yeah, I mean, definitely the networking is part of it. There's also the education too, right? Like, what does IRR mean when you're investing in something? What kind of spreadsheets should you be looking at? What kind of calculations should you be running? If you get sued, what do you do? Those are the types of things that we teach to during our meetings, so that when you start your business, you're not starting from again. You've got an entire resource, set of resources behind you that can success.
Yeah, that's good, because you answered my first part of my question of, is this a national thing? But no, it is LA specific. But those of you watching out there, maybe it's something that find some people in your area that might that can start something like this and grow this what they've done in LA, which I've seen. And I hope to see more. And again, you brought up like the aerospace and that kind of thing. I'm kind of excited for waiting for this company called Anduril to go public. Just saying, they're doing all right, okay, and they're doing a lot of good things out there in Costa Mesa. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say is like putting that network together of successful people, and then bringing in people to say, hey, what do I do here? Is there any type of example, I mean, obviously not names or businesses, that you can share where it's like, hey, this is a very common problem that happens, and then with somebody either in the entrepreneurial field and or like they're trying to branch off, like what is the problem where you come together like, okay, this is what we're focusing on today? Like any examples of that?
Yeah, man. I mean, all kinds of examples. You start a business, what do you need? Here's bail. You need your banker, your accountant, your insurance, and your lawyers. Okay? You show up to a BizVets LA event, you've got all of those options right there, and they've all been in the same spot that you were in. Okay, so we've had people who needed insurance run it through the group. Yeah, I've got this guy. What level of business are you? You're making $10 million a year? This is who you need to talk to. You're making $1 million a year? Okay, let's maybe start with this guy. You can work up to level B another day. We've got lawyers. You need a startup attorney? We've got startup attorneys. You got sued? Don't worry. I'm going to call Josh. Have business within the nonstop. There's a lot of economic activity internally, and we hope to continue that.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, you don't know what you don't know, and if you've never started a business, it's very hard to navigate the waters of what to prioritize. Like you could spend, if you've only got $200,000 as a budget, how much do you spend on product or service? How much do you spend on lawyers? How much? And if you don't even know where to start the prioritization or where you could fail before you ever even start, just because you won't launch because you're so lost in what you need to do first, second, and third. It's not like there's probably a book out there like Starting a Business for Dummies or something that's like, this one, find a lawyer, But yeah, I can see where having a bunch of people that have done it before can definitely speed that process along anywhere and keep you from spending a lot of money that you don't need to spend failing when you can succeed. And like Nick said, at the end of the day, you guys are based in LA, but people can build networks anywhere. I mean, networks are pretty intrinsic. The difference is that you focused a network into doing one thing or a cause, as opposed to having a network that's just there to support each other, whenever. Now you have one that is organized and has that meets and has events and talks to, and does classes and is there for each other. So that's awesome.
I mean, look, so I work with a lot of veteran-owned startups, And I see the mistakes that we make coming, and I know what they are. We're good at a lot of things. We have grit, we have intelligence, we have resilience, but we don't have the basics of business. Not yet. There are so many things that we're a step behind on.
When you hear a veteran that's talking about starting a business, almost I would say 90% of the conversations that I've ever had with veterans that's starting a business, they're starting like a hot dog stand, right? They're like, hey, we're gonna sell hot dogs and we're gonna sell them in this stand on the side of the road. You're like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, and then they're like, the next day, they're like, all right, I'm gonna open 10 franchises throughout the greater Nashville area, and I'm gonna sell hot dogs. You're like, bro, don't you think maybe you ought to phase that, like scale that up somehow instead of leveraging like all you don't even know how to make you don't even know what toppings you're gonna have. Like, what are you doing? Like, no. We just got to start huge. I don't think we do. I think we could start small, and then we can scale. It's a term. I heard it on a show one time. Scaling. You need to scale. Yeah.
Yeah, Candace asks, Candace, I don't know how long, and Candace is a great friend of ours and a great friend of the show. And she is an entrepreneur as well. Oh, he just dropped. He just joined again. He's been having some, yeah, there he is. He's back. Candace is a great friend of the show, a great friend of all of ours. She says, does any startup have basics of business? ? I didn't. 10 years later, it feels good to see how far I've come. All right. Yeah. And Michael, do you want to answer that one? Because the big girl would say you can skip like 5 of those years if you live in LA and join BizVets, and then maybe. So go ahead,
dude. That's why we do it, right? Like, you don't want to make those mistakes. They're expensive. They cost you a lot of money. So if you can just get in this room as people who have done it and be friends with them, and like, dude can pick up the phone, and I can call Joe the accountant, and he'll give me 5 minutes of his time versus me going on ChatGPT and ChatGPT telling me whatever it is I want ChatGPT to tell me. Then that'll potentially save me $100,000, and I don't have to go through the 10 years of pain that I might have to. I've found personally, and I don't know how it is for you guys, but I've found personally that having the right network is immensely important in generating business. And I mean, you guys get around. I imagine it's the same for you. So that's what we're trying to do. And look, from the perspective of LA, I don't think LA has always been a particularly veteran-friendly town. We hear all about the homeless veterans, the veterans with mental health problems, and that does exist. But there's a lot of veterans who are doing incredible things here in LA. And I don't know that there are a whole lot of organizations that necessarily highlight some of those that are doing big things. And on top of that, if we can make LA somehow more veteran friendly, I think that would be a win for the city writ large.
Absolutely. And part of the networking, like you talked about, we started this 4 years ago, and our networks have grown. Like, I wouldn't have met Candace, and I wouldn't have met, her husband, PJ. I met him through a friend of the show, right? And then as the network expands, we have Justin at the Warrior Heritage Foundation, and then old Jimmy working at the Bob Patriotic Hall, where it's like the side of the building faces downtown. All the like we can put something up there. It's like, hey, we love that you care about veteran homelessness and mental conditions, but you need to hire like some of these guys that aren't like that are crushing it, guys and girls. I know when I say guys, I mean everybody, right? Like we need to hire some of these people. You need to get them in your law office. You need to get them, in your wherever firm you have, because they're not only they're gonna work hard for you, but like you said, they probably know how to manage some things. They probably know how to manage the work-life balance. But hey, I think if he comes back on. Hey, Michael, I think we're gonna have to have you as like a guest host sometime and get you back on when you're back in LA. And then, but no, I think we got the gist. I want you to go enjoy your vacation, if that's all right. Unless you got us again.
Yeah. Yeah, I
No,
got
but
you again. I
the
switched to
point
my
is clear,
phone's
but
Wi-Fi. We're gonna give that a try.
gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, BizVets LA, Indio, California. All right, where's I think that's out in the desert, right? The Indio out in the desert. Where is that? I don't know. Where's Indio, California, Mike? Do you know?
Dude, I don't think I've flown over it yet. Let me go to the
Yeah.
Googles on that one.
Go to the Google zone. I think that's where all the casinos are. I'm not sure, but
Riverside County. So yeah, that's out east.
out east. All right. Yeah. They also need to take business. They need classes to help them understand. Yeah, Wayne, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. A lot of times on this show, we like to highlight, veterans that are doing great things and shed light on the veteran community as opposed to whatever. And we get it. We know the internal struggles that people have, but here at Veteran Trash Talk, we tell you to get that demon out, own it, and then go start crushing life. Right? Like you don't get to just keep playing the same card. And expect it to get better, right? And we talked about that in the law of probability. If you're a gambler, you try to play the good hands, all right, and find the good hands. And with that, when I heard about what Michael and BizVets LA does, is I wanted to get him on because there is a network of veterans that what they've done, I think, can work all around the country. And so people who are we'll have a lot of people download this later and listen to it, like around the country. Start one in Chicago, start one in New York. Let's start, making this where it's a thing. And like you said, Michael, how do we get to that point? What is your guys' vision at BizVets LA to attack that? I know you said what you do, but what is the pathway to, hey, we're really, really good. We can really, really help the city.
Yeah, I mean it's complicated. So look, this thing could fall apart tomorrow. If I get hit by a bus, then I'm not sure that it continues on. Maybe somebody picks up the flag and keeps going, and I hope that's the case. As far as what does success look like, I mean, we're a nonprofit. We're a California nonprofit corporation. We're registered as a 501c3. So we've got, all the check marks by our name. I think in the best case scenario, rather than me and a staff of volunteers running this kind of part-time, because we all have full-time jobs that are pretty demanding, we allocate some real resources to it. We put somebody whose job it is full-time to run this organization and put some real weight of effort on it. And now this thing, I think, really takes off. And we've had discussions with some of our sponsors about doing something like that in the long term. I think they're still trying to dip their toes in the water to see if we're for real, which I respect. But unlike you guys, we'll take anybody's money. So we're not picky about it. We're not picky about our sponsors. But, to that end, I think if I look forward in about 3 years, we're holding like monthly events. We've got people who are multimillionaires in the organization who are helping the people who are still at Anderson or Marshall or at UCLA Law or wherever the case may be, helping them transition to quote unquote making it in LA. Then I think that's on glide slope for us. To your point on like, could this be done anywhere? Yeah. I mean, I've had people approach us and say, hey, I want to do this in DC. Hey, I want to, try this in Dallas. Okay, I've got the blueprint for you. Just let me know. Like, I've got the website you should use. I can walk you through setting up a nonprofit. Like, that's all just nuts and bolts of getting it done. But yeah, I think in a place like Atlanta, it's just more veteran friendly. So it's maybe not quite as needed, right? In a place like DC, like they're having parades for veterans down the street on Tuesdays.
They got the Army Navy Club there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your BizVets LA. It's the Army Navy Club.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing in, Walla Walla, Washington. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be one of the biggest 5 cities in America. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be investment banking and venture capital. It can legitimately be plumbers and construction workers and people that frame houses, and they build your network, and then you're still running a small business. You've still got people that have been successful at doing it, and you have people that are, guy got out of the Army after 10 years as a combat engineer, and now he's working framing houses. They can still invite that guy to their network and like, hey, you're good at framing houses. Why wouldn't you just become a builder? Here's how you do it. And it's a lot of, it sounds like it's a lot more mentoring than network and networking, more than than just like, oh, hey, I joined this club and now I'm just automatically successful. You still got to do the work. You just got people that will give you the directions instead of trying to figure them out on your own.
That's it, man. And look, we've got people who are on the course now, right? Like, they're making partners in the law firms. They're getting promoted, within their organizations. They've started businesses that are funded by venture capital. They are venture capital firms, general partners themselves. But yeah, like, the reality is, when you are in business, there are certain things that are agnostic to the type of business, accounting, right? Like, if you're going to be a plumber and run a plumbing business, if you're going to build houses and, do some kind of general contractor work, you still have to do accounting, right? So you can meet with the plumber and talk about accounting. You still have to have insurance. Like, all those things are standard. You can talk about all those things with people you trust, and leverage, whatever mental or, physical resources they have available. And again, it's just in a more trusted network. Like, that initial trust layer has already been breached, so that, this person's already had a security clearance. This person has already been part of something bigger than themselves. There's a better probability that they know how to work in a team than the average bear. And so I think that's the appeal of it to a lot of people. And then, I tell people who come to the meetings, my whole goal out of this organization was to get free tickets to Lakers games. I'm not quite there yet. We got Dodgers. Yeah.
Flores gets tickets to a Laker game.
I know. I need him to join because we need more accountants. I'll hard sell him here in a bit, but and I've sent a couple clients of mine his way, just from purely meeting him at the Jonathan Club. But as far as the club. But I think it's going to happen. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be a success overnight, but we've got, as of last check, 82 members, which is good.
The best number ever.
Yeah, perfect number.
Yep.
You don't get it because you're a pilot. Not a big deal, but we get it.
I understand.
Just don't. You're perfect. Don't expand.
No more. We've capped out. But look, there are over 200,000 veterans in LA County. There are over 8,000 veteran-owned businesses in the county. We're the second largest veteran population by county in the country. So the fact that we're not meeting and we're not organizing is almost a disservice to what we could have, which is hopefully Lakers tickets.
Yeah.
So the Lakers tickets. Yeah, the first Lakers game I went to was in Dr. Dre's suite because of Flores. I'm just saying, you want to go in Dr. Dre's suite. It's like the 45-yard line if you're watching an NFL game, he was on the court side, so we got to go on
the I mean, my call sign while I was flying was Snoop, so that would be a logical connection.
You're in.
Yeah.
After this show, I'm sending that email to Flores. I'll add you to it. But like, hey, I got what's your full call sign? Just Snoop? What was it?
Snoop.
Snoop-a-loop.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Snoop-a-loop.
All right, so I got call sign Snoop needs Laker tickets. That's too easy. So.
Need them ASAP.
Yeah, I need them ASAP. Great. And one more non-serious question. Can we call this accountant? We called him Jim, right? Can we call this accountant and say, hey, if Trump actually sues the IRS for $15 billion or $10 billion, do I have to file my taxes? Like, is that can we skip this year? Like, are we good? Like, they're gonna be kind of busy.
You can definitely call him and ask.
There you go.
Like,
It's just
I will not be giving you any law advice on the podcast. Thank you.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
thank you.
I'm just,
Yeah.
Hey, you got to take a shot once in a while. This
Hey,
is the time
get
where I
where
don't
you are
know.
by knowing what landmines to sidestep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you the bill after the show's over. We'll call it good.
Yeah, make sure you send it to him, not
That
me.
just
I-
cost you $640. That question. So
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyways, yeah. What a great show. Am I doing the AAR or are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm supposed to do the AR.
Okay, yeah. I did.
Yeah, it's pretty it's fairly straightforward. First you gotta listen to the Book of Earl, and that is don't rely on luck. Luck is when preparation and experience meet. That's not nothing about it is lucky, and it doesn't really exist. If you play stupid games and you continue to do, if you go down the flow chart of bad decisions, bad things will probably happen to you. And then we had Mike on or call sign Snoop Loop if you're nasty. Well, a former F-15 pilot, so whatever room he's in, unless they have F-10 or A-10 pilots in, he's the coolest guy in the room. Let's see, he started BizVets in LA. It's kind of a network / mentoring program or club, if you will, club, as he said, to quote Snoop.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced in LA.
The club, yeah. And if you're not in the club, where are you really? Probably at Big Bear. Anyway, with on and off internet. Anyway, so it's a networking and mentoring club based in LA. Look them up. If you're a small business owner or you're looking at starting a small business, look them up and try to get into the network. If you know nobody's coming to save you, you have to do the things to save yourself and get into make the right decisions for yourself and your family and your business. So why not have some people that have already done it help you sidestep those landmines that we were talking about just a minute ago? That's it. That's the AAR.
Awesome, great AAR, and we'll give the last words to Michael again because apparently Jeremy really likes you. But so we'll just on the chat thread, Jeremy, look up BizVets LA and you just keep carrying on this conversation with him. And maybe our producer can delete a couple of those so this actually airs on Facebook.
What's up? Eric Klein said was talking earlier. Oh, Sergeant Klein, just say how's it going, brother? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
AAR's complete.
AAR's complete, and then we'll give you the last words. Like you said, you'll take anybody's money if somebody wants to help what you guys are doing. Whether they're in LA or not LA, how can they get to you? How can they help? Give us all the deets on that, and we'll close it out.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go to our website, bizvetsla.org. If you want to join, that's the best way you can help is just be part of the crew. We want you there. We want to hang out with you. We want to learn about you. We want you to have access to our resources, and we want to have access to your resources. If you're, a corporate type and you're interested in sponsoring an organization that seeks to elevate, veterans to a higher level in LA, then, we're happy to have a conversation. You can find me pretty easily on LinkedIn, and we can talk.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing that. And those of you watching, listening for the first time, Veteran Trash Talk is here to throw light on the veteran community and telling you to own your own demons and go get after it. And when you get to that level, after you started getting after it, all right, look us up again. Look up Michael Segal again. We're going to find out how we can take it to the next level. And keep progressing forward and keep going after that. Go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com. All right, we have all of our awesome T-shirts there. I thought this was appropriate with Michael Myers. No lives matter. It just is what it is. All right, and again, buddy, you forgot to say to stay neutral. And again, we will see you next week. Enjoy the UFC fights tonight. It's on Paramount, a lot cheaper than $89 on ESPN. So go get after it and enjoy your vacation, Michael. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Jess.